If you think having a will keeps your family out of probate, then I have some bad news for you. It doesn't. In fact, a will is basically an instruction manual for the probate court. But don't worry, I'm going to show you the top 3 ways to avoid probate and save your family thousands of dollars. So stick with me because at the end of this video, I'll share the best way to not only avoid probate, but also protect your kids' inheritance from divorce, lawsuits, and financial mistakes. So let's dive in. Hi, I'm Chuck Roulet. I'm an estate and elder law planning attorney licensed to practice in both Florida and Minnesota. And before we begin, if you haven't already, make sure you click the like and subscribe button so you'll be notified when I post new videos like this one. And if you have a question, post it in the comments below and I may answer it in an upcoming video. And if you stay until the end, I'll share some resources where you can discover even more. So most people assume that if they don't have an estate plan, everything just automatically passes to their family. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Without a written plan, no one automatically has the legal authority to sign off, say, on the sale of your assets, to close accounts, etc. So in order to get that authority, your assets and your family have to go through probate, a potentially long, expensive, and public court process where a judge decides who is in charge and who gets everything based on state law. This means more money for lawyers in the courts and less for your family. Now, one of the biggest myths I see in the general public about estate planning is the myth that a will avoids probate. So let's set the record straight. A will does not avoid probate. A will just tells the court your wishes, but it still has to go through the legal system. So again, that means delays, costs, and a lack of privacy. But don't worry, there are ways to avoid probate, and I'm about to walk you through the 3 best options. Now, one way to avoid probate is through joint ownership. This means if one of the owners passes away, the surviving joint owner or owners automatically take ownership of the asset. So this is commonly used for bank accounts and real estate. Simple, you might think, right? But there are risks. So for example, if you add a child as a joint owner, you could trigger a gift tax. The assets now become vulnerable to the joint owners you've placed on there, their creditors, divorce, or even a lawsuit. And if it's one of your kids, they're not going to get the step up in basis when you pass away, meaning they could pay more in taxes if they sell the asset. And if you make them a joint owner of real estate, you're now going to need to get them and their spouse, if they're married, to sign off if you sell or refinance the property. So while joint ownership might seem like a quick fix, it has some serious downsides. Now, the second way to avoid probate is by using beneficiary designations. These are often used on retirement accounts, life insurance, and even some bank accounts. So when you pass away, the asset goes directly to the named beneficiary or beneficiaries without court involvement. But again, there are potential risks. So for example, if a beneficiary dies before you and you haven't named a backup, the asset may still need to go through probate. Also, the inheritance is unprotected. So for example, again, if your child gets divorced or sued, that money is fair game. And if you have a minor beneficiary, they can't inherit. So that's now kicked it right back into the probate court. So occasionally I'll get a client who'll say, well, Chuck, I've just named all of my adult children as the beneficiaries. Okay, well, what happens if one of your children passes away? Depending on how you did that beneficiary designation, the asset could go to their surviving spouse, their siblings, or even down to their children, your grandchildren. And if that grandchild is under the age of 18, they can't inherit. It's going to kick it back into the probate court. And if your child was divorced, the court's probably going to put their ex-spouse in control of the money. Is that really what you intended? So while beneficiary designations can be a good option, it needs to be set up properly, and you do need to understand the potential risks. Now, the best way to avoid probate and protect your assets is through a revocable living trust. Now, here's how it works. You transfer your assets into the trust while you're alive. And while you're alive, you're in full control as the trustee. And when you pass away, your chosen successor trustee or trustees, you can have more than one, they step in and follow your instructions without court involvement. Now, the advantages are it completely avoids probate. It maintains privacy. There's no public records. The trust can be designed to even protect the money you leave for your kids in the event that they get divorced, get sued, or have poor money management skills. And you can control how and when your heirs receive their inheritance. Now, disadvantage is that setting up a trust generally does cost a bit more than doing, say, just a basic will or doing joint ownership and beneficiary designations. But that being said, the long-term savings, privacy, and protections means it may be the best move for you and your family. If you would like to discover more or to schedule a consultation to discuss your own planning, visit us at rouletlaw.com. And if you would like to learn how you can protect your home and life savings from long-term care and nursing home costs, download your copy of my book, Save Our Home, by clicking the link in the description below. Finally, I'm also going to be hosting a free online masterclass where I will be revealing the strategies that I use with my private clients and their families to help them avoid probate, save on taxes, protect the money they leave for their kids in the event they get divorced, and much more. And you can join us by signing up at the link in the description below. So I hope you found this video helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in either an upcoming video or the masterclass. Be well.